Welcome to the Pistons Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. Thank you all for listening very much. Please subscribe and like if you haven't done it already. Well, our Pistons didn't have it tonight. We came out flat, and in so many ways, we lost 111 to 100 to the Indiana Pacers, who have been on a hot streak lately, just like we've been on a hot streak lately. And I can't even understand how this game was this close. We were terrible turning the ball over. We turned it over 19 times. Miles Turner was 8 for 11 on threes, and we left him too open a lot of the times. But he's an interesting player. A lot of Piston fans talk about wanting him because he's a 5 and he can block shots and he can make threes. And the thing that I would keep on saying though is everybody in the NBA wants one of those, and there aren't very many. There are hardly any anywhere, and so he will be, I think, a free agent. And so I wouldn't mind getting him. I don't know, he would fit him good, I think. But he was on fire tonight, and it just is perplexing. Duran had a really good game, except, I know people have criticized him before for not getting out and guarding the 5s that can shoot threes. And so there were too many times tonight where, and he made him over Stu also. So it wasn't just Duran, but he made a bunch of them over Duran. But when Duran wasn't within 5 feet of him, a lot of the times closing out, he was way late to get to him. And so when a guy's like that, I don't care what the coaches say, or I do care what the coaches say, but you would think people would figure it out, when he's that hot. But yeah, it was a tough game. Cade had a terrible game. He's been on a heater. He's last 3 games he's averaged 30 points and like 9 assists or 10 assists and 6 rebounds. And tonight he was 7 for 21. He still had 20 points, but he shot bad. 1 for 7 on threes, 7 turnovers. And they made life so hard for him. And Nemhart did a great job on him. They full court press him. They deny him when he gives up the ball. They don't let him get it back, and our guys don't seem to be able to get it to him, or we don't create ways to get it to him. He made a great backdoor cut once, and Durham just made a bad pass. But it was not a good night for Cade. He's been playing like an all-star. He's been getting so much recognition. Everything has fallen in place, and everybody has bad games. So like tonight, the Cavs, the best team in the NBA this year, for sure, has been the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they recently beat Oklahoma City. But tonight, Oklahoma City played the Cavs, and they just demolished them. They beat them by over 30, and OKC didn't have their 2 centers didn't play tonight. They had 2 great centers, and neither one of them played. So, and they still destroyed Cleveland. And like I said, Cleveland has been really, really great this year. Pacers have been good lately. The Eastern Conference is really, everybody is so bunched up, anywhere between the 4th seed and the 9th seed, which we're at right now. Everybody's won like 23 to 20 games. Everybody's all bunched together. So here's the reality: is we were in 7th, now we're in 9th. After going into the night, we were 7th, a half game out behind Indiana, who had the 6th seed. And then we lose 1 game, and now all of a sudden we fall to the 9th seed. So, but it's going to be like that. And I've said this. I'm really thrilled with the way we're playing. We did not play good tonight, and again, lots of teams have off nights in the NBA. The Celtics, who a lot of people, they won the championship last year. They're loaded. We've seen how good they can play, and they've struggled mightily lately. They've had a bad stretch where they've been like 500 for the last over 10 games, and so. Yeah, it's gonna be, and we had just a young team, and then so anyway, I said we had 19 turnovers. Cade was terrible. Beasley 1 for 10. Threesley 1 for 8 on threes, and he at one time he missed a technical, and then he came down and missed a wide open layup. Ron Holland, who has brought us lots of energy and played really well for us, he played 8 minutes. He had 5 fouls, and he does get called for a lot. He is very physical and aggressive. But it was a chippy game, and they went at it. And after the game, it was pretty cool. JB said, so they asked JB about how contentious or how is this turning into a rivalry, and JB says, I hope it is. And I think JB was drawing at Carlisle at one time, even, that it got chippy. But there was a lot of things going on between a lot of the players tonight, and JB said, yeah, it was Chippy tonight, but it's funny how and we kicked their butt. We beat them the last time we played them earlier this year. We beat them way worse, and um, JB says, yeah, it was weird how they didn't do anything, talk anything, and act tough back then when we blew them out, and so that it's interesting to hear him. Yeah, yeah, it is fun. It is fun to see teams, and Stu's right in the middle of it. Stu's always right in the middle of it. And even after the game, even when they were shaking hands and things, I saw Stu going after Turner, and it was interesting. We play him in 2 weeks again, so it could be interesting when we play him again in 2 weeks. But yeah, Matherin didn't play tonight. He was suspended. Halliburton didn't play the game before this. He sat out because he had a hamstring issue or something, and then they had another guy that just came back tonight for the first time. But it was not our night. It was just not our night. Everything again, all those things they said. Beasley 1 for 10, Cade 7 for 21, 19 turnovers. You know, Holland couldn't get it going, and just a lot of things went wrong for us tonight. So, and that's going to happen though. But in a positive note, we are finally getting recognition. We are getting recognized nationally by everybody. And we were on NBA Today, and then they talked all about Cade. And then the next day on NBA Today, um, he was on. They had him as a guest, and they had interviewed him, and they showed him, and he had his cool Detroit T-shirt on, and it was he's getting lots of publicity, and so everything has fallen in place just amazingly well for him. Before the year started, the all big debate: can Cade make the All-Star team? Well, we had to win, and no, none of us could see us winning at this rate. We're still over 500 at this point in the season, and we can have a bad stretch. Our fans, we're all excited. I'm excited, and I'm thrilled at watching us play again, like that Knicks game and that Pacers game where we played at Indiana. Uh, I don't know how many weeks ago that was. We handed it to them. We just looked like by far the better team. They, especially for the first half, they looked like the better team tonight. But I don't know how we cut this game. We had all those things go wrong, and we cut this game. It was a 6 point game with 6 minutes left, plenty of time to have won the game, but we just couldn't, push things over the hump today. But it is fun to hear that on the NBA Athletic Show they talked about the Pistons and they talked about Cade, and on NBA Today, multiple times when we got no mention anytime from anybody, and now we're getting all this awesome publicity, and not just those podcasts, but other podcasts. So. Um, it is hard, when every time, so Cade, we'd run multiple, I felt like we were better off just trying to move the ball around and clear out for him because, they double him off every pick when we try to run pick and roll with him, and they just trap him and so that in multiple times, sometimes we had two screens for him set so he could come off, and both guys jumped out at him, and he didn't handle it well. Other players on our team didn't handle it well. JB said he has to do some things differently to try to make it work out better. But yeah, I don't know how it was 96-90 with 6 minutes to go. So that, yeah, I can't really explain how that could happen. But yeah, we just got to fight back. We got to play I won't be on Saturday. Saturday we play the Suns at home and in Little Caesars, and then they moved that game back a little bit so that people could watch the Lions game at 8. So that's pretty cool that there's going to be all those people downtown on Saturday, and hopefully the Pistons can have a great effort, against the Suns, who've been struggling quite a bit lately, but they still have a lot of really talented players. So looking through the box score, Asar, again, I really love him, but he played 22 minutes, 3 for 9, 0 for 3 on threes, and 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 rebounds, not 3 rebounds. He was 0 for 3, 2 for 2 on free throws, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 8 points, but he was a team worst minus 22. And Tobias, 36 minutes, 5 for 11, 0 for 2 on threes, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and he had 3 turnovers, and he doesn't handle it that many times. For a veteran player, he seems like he doesn't handle double teams very well, and he doesn't seem to handle the ball. His handle's not very good, I don't think, but he's been a really good veteran for us and a really good player. Duran, I would say he had a great game. He played only 27 minutes, 8 for 8, 1 for 1 on free throws, 17 rebounds, 2 blocks, but he was one of the problems getting to Turner. He was just too far away from Turner, and they know going into the game that Turner's the 3-point shooter. He knows he has to get closer to people. I know they've been getting him to try to be in position to help with drives to the basket, but you just can't be 5 feet away from Turner when he catches it. Otherwise, he's going to make a good percentage. So Hardaway, 30 minutes, 6 for 14. 4 for 9 on threes. He came out and hit 3 right away. Man, it was unbelievable. They weren't even easy. So they were deep and they were quick. And he just nailed 3 in a row and scored our first. I think he scored our first 12 points maybe today. But then he struggled a little bit after that. But he had 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 25 points. Cade, 39 minutes. Like I said, 7 for 21, 1 for 7 on threes. 5 for 5 on free throws, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, but 7 turnovers. And he didn't look good. He didn't deal with it well. He's been such a great player. His turnovers have come way down. He still had 20 points. I still marveled. A lot of people see people in the NBA score 20 points and think they had a great game, but that's not necessarily the case. If you shoot 21 times. Beasley, 26 minutes, and again he just couldn't find the basket tonight, and so he probably will bounce back. Tech only played 18 minutes, 2 for 5, 1 for 1 on free throws, and 2 rebounds. And like Stu, so I got to hear an interview with Stu, and he loves this role. He played 21 minutes. Stu's happier, I think, playing 21 minutes, not starting, not shooting threes, and doing all this dirty work. And he said he loves doing that, and he loves contributing to winning, and he loves his teammates. And this team really is bonded together and connected together, and they cheer for each other. They're happy for each other. They all say it, but you can see it, not just hear the words. They all do it. And against Stu tonight, he was only 1 for 4. He scored 6 points. But he had 13 rebounds in 21 minutes and 4 assists, and he had another big block tonight. So stats are 14 minutes, 2 for 5, 2 for 4 on threes, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. And again, Ron Holland only 8 minutes, 1 for 4, and he had 5 fouls and he scored 4 points. But there's always talk about, this is the formula for teams to handle Cade. He's been destroying the league and passing and scoring, but play him full court, deny him every second that you can, try not to let him get the ball back. Every time they set a pick for him, double him, and try to make some other people beat him. And, that seems what I would do. And, some teams like the New York game, they did it for a half. Cade had 7 in the first half. But so many games, even in his career, he's got a short career because he didn't play a second year much, but he will have a bad half and then he'll turn around and have a good half. But tonight he just really couldn't get it going. So anyway, we'll see what happens Saturday. Hopefully we can bounce back, and it's easy. Teams in this league, they have stretches. They play really well, they look great, and then they have bad stretches where they look really bad. And hopefully this doesn't turn in, and I don't think that it will. I'm not, but it's just we still have a young team, and it still matters. So we shot the 3 terribly tonight, and we were 25%. We've been one of the top. It's the 3-point shot is so integral into the NBA, and we shot 25% tonight. But we've been shooting near the top of the league in this winning streak where we won like 8 out of 10 or whatever we won. But anyway, I want to shout out to my daughter. I should have said this earlier in the podcast while people were still listening, but my daughter was honored and chosen as one of the top science and math teachers in the United States, and she's going to be presented an award at the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and she's awarded $10,000. But she's been Michigan science teacher before. She's been the state basketball coach of the year for all classes like 4 years ago, and I'm just very proud of my daughter, and I'm very proud of my Pistons too. So Let's turn it around and be the reason that somebody feels cared for and loved, and go Pistons.